This is exactly how the Bears take control. Some key changes and developments that need to be made to take control of this team going forward. Welcome to Bears Digest, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dylan Guinzy. Thank you for joining me once again. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. It looks like 67.5% of you have not done so. So be sure to hit that bell to stay up to date on news, rumors, breaking information as it comes to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys Sunday on Fox with Tom Brady on the call. It is the game of the week as they call it. I don't know if it's going to be that necessarily, but we are approaching. That is just 2 days away from now. What I want to talk about here today is some things that can unlock this team and take control of the defense specifically. What we need to do going forward, what needs to be done in this game to save this team, and honestly, it is a must-win game for the Bears as well. So, with that being said, what do you guys have in terms of game predictions, score predictions down below? Please let me know. I always am curious as to what you guys think with what's going to happen and score predictions. It's always fun to discuss that. So, without further ado, we will get rolling here. What I want to discuss here is how this season has played out on defense so far. And just to look at it, it's not good. So starting off, points allowed per game is 39.5. That is 32nd in the NFL. If you don't know what that is last. So that is dead last in points allowed per game. You're not going to win any games in the NFL doing that. Total yards allowed per game, 383. That is 28th in the NFL. Completion percentage allowed, 82%, 10th in the NFL. Yards per pass attempt allowed, which is 11.9 at 5th. Expected points added, EPA per attempt, 0.86, 7th. Touchdowns allowed, 5th, tied for 2nd. Sacks, 3, 27th. Nothing changing there. We don't get sacks much. We didn't last year, and we aren't this year so far, so that needs to change. Interceptions, 1, 16th. A lot of these numbers could be even worse if we didn't play J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings in week 1 for that first 3 quarters. We kind of padded our stats there a little bit with the first 3 quarters. And J.J. McCarthy was seeing complete ghosts as he did in the second game as well, and now he's hurt. Hope he gets better soon, but he was horrific for 3 quarters. So that kind of pads our stats in terms of the Bears' defense there. Everything after that point, the 4th quarter of that Vikings game and to the Lions game was abysmal and the worst in the league. So going on from there, how do we move forward? How do we fix what's currently going on? Because obviously Jaylon Johnson's not coming back. We got injuries across the board. None of that is changing. So how are we going to fix this, right, with what we have and what is at Dennis Allen's disposal? One thing I want to touch on here is a tweet from Jay Chicago Bears that he put out here this morning. This is about Montez Sweat. I know we've kind of talked about how he has been pretty terrible and not living up to his contract, but just to point out some of the positives here, we're going to discuss some of these grades that Montez Sweat has acquired. So Chicago Bears edge, Montez Sweat is PFF's highest graded Bears defender with 80-plus snaps. 74.1 overall, 74 pass rush, 61 run defense, 7 total tackles, 3 stops, 3 pressures, 1 sack that was called back due to a penalty last game. Hoping Dennis Allen has a strong game plan for him to get pressure on Dallas. Ben Johnson said earlier this week that it is paramount that when Montez Sweat gets a single blocker on him, he needs to win more of those matchups. I agree. Now, I think Montez has done fine this year in terms of his effort and staying home on the play and everything like that and keying into his assignments. But what he needs to do when he's getting paid this much is he has to be so much better at getting to the quarterback and finishing sacks and finishing plays. So that is one way that we are going to take control of this defense is having our highest paid defender and edge rusher getting to the quarterback and actually finishing those. I don't care about the pressures overall unless it's turning into sacks from other guys, which right now it's not. So he needs to get to the quarterback when he gets those one-on-one matchups. He's got to get home. That is how this defense is going to be better. Obviously, your best defensive player should be amounting to stops for you on defense and getting you big plays. So Montez Sweat has got to step up in that category in terms of actually putting numbers on the field, rather than, these grades and stuff like that being good. But these are positive in terms of how he's been playing on the back end, but we just need to see that actually result into stats on the field, and that is how we're going to take some more control on the defensive side of the ball. Now, one thing that I do want to touch on is this guy right here returning. Matt Eberflus is coming back. this week. Obviously, he was our coach for the last couple of years. He wasn't a good coach, but he is a good defensive mind. Now, with that being said, the way to change your season around very quick, if that is possible, is taking Matt Eberflus and putting him straight into the ground, right? Ben Johnson and the offense need to succeed against Matt Eberflus. We'll discuss some further statistics based on Matt Eberflus in the past couple of years here in a little bit. But his defense is not very good. They're not playing very good either this year. Their metrics are just about the same on the defensive side of the ball as ours are to start the year. We have to go out there and put them right into the ground. We have to prove that Dennis Allen is a better fit in terms of running this defense on our team than Matt Eberflus even was, because pretty much he was just a glorified defensive coordinator trying to be a head coach on our team the past couple of years. So we had a NFL report come out this morning about Matt Eberflus and his return. So we had a couple of quotes here that I thought was pretty interesting from Matt Eberflus. On Sunday, Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus returns to Chicago, the club that fired him fewer than 10 months ago. Asked Thursday about facing his former team, Eberflus downplayed the reunion with many former players. I look at it as one opportunity for us to go out there and really execute. It's game 3, he said. Eberflus went 14 of 32 as the Bears head coach. He was fired after week 13 after horrific clock management in a Thanksgiving Day loss to the Lions. Asked about the reaction he expects from Bears fans, Eberflus again shrugged off the question. I haven't thought about it, he said. I can tell you right now, man to man, he's thought about it. He's definitely thinking about it. He has thought about it in the past. He will continue to think about it. That is just a natural human instinct. If you're going back to the coach or to coach for a different team at that home stadium of a place that you were just a head coach for multiple years, you're going to think about it. There's going to be some emotions and different things like that. So obviously that's false. He's obviously thinking about it. I hope we get into his head and Ben Johnson is in his bag against Matt Eberflus and that defense on Sunday. Just discussing Matt Eberflus' stats from the last couple of years when he was a coach. If you can't see that perfectly well, I can go over it for you. So the Bears defense over the last 2 seasons combined under Matt Eberflus was 32nd in EPA per play, 32nd in dropback EPA per play, 32nd in pressure rate, 32nd in pressure rate with 4-man rush, 32nd in sacks per game, and 32nd in yards conceded per coverage snap. So if we're discussing Matt Eberflus compared to Dennis Allen, obviously there's not too much to go off of this year, but there's really only looking up from here. I think a lot of people kind of question Dennis Allen's ability and, say that we were better off with Matt Eberflus, things like that. It's entirely not true. They had some good moments. They were really good in the red zone. Obviously, they caused, struggles. The Bears caused struggles for, other teams and other quarterbacks, but overall, the defense was not good there either, and that's really what he was here to do, is fix the defense and be a glorified defensive coordinator, and he wasn't good at that either. So, overall, not worried. Don't miss Matt Eberflus at all. Love the guy as a person, but he is not a good coach, and I'm glad that we are out of that. So just kind of going back to the original topic, the way that we take this game and take control of this game is putting Matt Eberflus down in the dirt, being better on defense, and sending more blitzes from Dennis Allen's point of view, getting these guys pressure, not just with 4, not just with what we have on the defensive line, bring some extra guys in, because the longer that Dak Prescott has to throw, he is going to find these open receivers, and there is going to be open receivers because our secondary is very weak and injured as well. So overall, to unlock this team and have some more control about where we're going forward for the rest of the year, let's get some pressure. Let's get some blitzes in. Let's get a little bit unique with what we're doing, because obviously teams are going to have film on what we have been doing so far going forward, and they're going to have success. It's not going to be a great defense. I don't know if there's a way to fully recover from this right now, but if Dennis Allen is trying to establish some sort of culture, he's got to fix some things. So let's take control. We got to get Montez Sweat more one-on-ones. Let's get more blitzes. Let's get more action in the offensive backfield by our defenders. Get this defensive line rolling. I know Shamar Turner is hopefully coming back here soon, the rookie that hasn't practiced too much. But maybe he gets some reps as well, adds some more juice into this defensive line. Remains to be seen there. But we got to take control. This is a must-win game for the Chicago Bears. And going forward for the rest of the season, all hope can kind of be lost if you take this L here to Matt Eberflus of all people. in week 3 to bring you to 0-3. So, again, game predictions down below and hear what you guys think. And as always, bear down.